everybody, it's Shannon with StampendouslyShannon. I'm just coming today to do a cute little tutorial about how to make these little hot cocoa packets. Now this project was inspired by another demonstrator who did something very similar with hers, but I changed up what's inside to make it a little bit unique to me. So we are going to start by curating the inside of our packets. So I purchased this Ghirardelli hot cocoa mix, and I made sure to purchase it with the one that could be made with water or milk. I think Ghirardelli does have a couple of different cocoa mixes, and some of them request that you make that with milk. So I did choose one that you could make it with either. So we'll use one of those, but you could also use Swiss Miss, or I bought some Tim Hortons hot chocolate as well from the store, so you can make some with that as well. But we'll go ahead and get started with this. Now I did want to do some cute little marshmallow treat packets. So I purchased these jet puffed vanilla marshmallow bits here. And I'm just going to put these in a tiny little sack. Now this tiny little bag is 3 inches by 4 inches. And I just pour a certain number in. And of course, because you're going to be handling this a little bit, you want to make sure you wash your hands before you do this. I just washed my hands before I started this. And we'll just dump a few in. And I want it to lay flat, so I will just kind of push them around. So they lay mostly flat. And then just going to fold this over, and I just used some washi tape. Since these are already dried out, these are dried marshmallows, and since I'm going to be giving them away pretty soon, I don't need to worry too much about staling. So I am just going to find the washi tape that I used and seal it down. So this is just a random washi tape from the craft store, but it's Christmas themed, right? So it's got cute little people dressed up with their packages. So I'll just put a piece of washi tape across the back to keep those marshmallows in there. Go. And the demonstrator that I got this idea from, she just used the Swiss Miss packets and actually separated them. And I thought that was a cute idea too. All right. And then we're going to use these Wilton bags. And these are the 4 inches by 9.5 inches. So they're much narrower compared to length. But these are in my opinion, pretty much the perfect size. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just fold down the top. I liked it so that you would be able to see that it was still hot cocoa mix. And we'll just drop this in. And we're going to go ahead and drop our marshmallows in too. And then the next step is going to be to curate the add-ins that we might want to put in our hot cocoa. So I have a few different suggestions here. So you could just put some peppermints, and that's what I did for this one. Just a couple of cute little peppermints. They can drop them in their cocoa or have it as an after cocoa treat. I also found these Ghirardelli peppermint mini barks, and these you get a huge amount. I think this box was $12 at my store, but you get, this is like a super share size, so it's tons of them. So you can make tons of these little kits. And you could put 1 or 2 of these in there, but they're pretty small. So if you've had like the regular Ghirardelli squares, these are about half the size, I think. Or I guess you could do some combination of that, which is what I did here. I did 1 mint and 1 mini bark. Or you can do some candy canes, just some regular old mini candy canes. So those are the options that I have for you. I really love these little peppermint barks in there, and I think that it's really cute with just 1 little peppermint. So that's what we're going to do for this one today too. So we're going to slide this in, and we'll reorganize it a little bit once we get the rest of the stuff in there. But I'm creating this kit so that we know where to attach things, and we're all set for that. So I'm just going to fold this over for a hot minute, and then we're going to get started on our actual stamping piece. So this is a super easy project. Like I said, we're going to cut 2 circles here with our layering circles dies. If you don't have the layering circles dies, you can also use the circle punches. or you can simply use a square, whatever you have. It doesn't have to be a circle. That's just what we're using today. But you could easily use the contour dies, whatever you have. And then we're going to color it with blends. And then we're going to fold a little piece of paper over the top to make a cute little closure for it and smack ribbon on it. So super, super easy. One thing that I would suggest is, this one's a little crooked, but I would suggest putting a piece of cardstock in this as well. And this was actually brought to my attention by the other demonstrator. And she placed that piece in theirs just so that the your package is going to have a little bit more weight to it. It's going to stand up a little straighter, and also it's going to sit a little flatter. So if you're, carrying these around to give to people, they're going to sit much flatter with that piece of cardstock in there. Just gives them a little more support. And if you're giving this to a neighbor or something, you could easily swap the color. So you wouldn't have to do red, of course. You could do something like crumb cake. And then you would be able to maybe write a little message like Merry Christmas, love your neighbors, whatever you'd like to do. Cute stocking stuffers too. So we will go ahead and get started on that next step. I'm going to close these marshmallows so I don't spill them everywhere. And we're going to cut our circles. So we need to have one white circle and in basic white, and we're going to do one circle in real red. And I'm going to get our big cut and emboss out. So this would be really, really simple to just bust out a whole bunch of these, especially if you're doing this as a team. One of you does all the die cutting, one of you does all the stamping, then you both get to color. Super easy to divide the tasks, but also super fun and simple. So we're going to use these two. I'm going to just make sure that I have the right size here. Yep, so we're going to use our largest. For me, it's going to be my largest scalloped circle, which measures about, let's see, I think this is the 3. So it's the 3 inches across. And then we're going to use the, 2.75 inch circle that goes inside of it. So, and again, if you don't have these particular dies, use whatever dies you have and that you would like. And the smaller circle is going to be on the basic white. And then, of course, you can also use, and maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we will use a piece of, rather than using a piece of real red for the cardstock, we can use a cute piece of DSP, Designer Series paper. So let me find a cute piece real quick. Ooh, let's use this one. So we will use this cute piece. This is from the sleigh ride paper set. I'm not sure exactly what it's called off the top of my head, but it's a cute set. It's got like designs on one side, and then it's got more of like just a demure print on the other. So we're going to use this pretty white, or this pretty red side here. And it's an easy way to make them variable as well. So we're getting a little bit of earthquake here, sorry. All right. So we can move this now. So now we have both of our circles. And it really is truly that simple. That's exactly what we have here. So set this off to the side, and now we will stamp our little cup of cheer. And I'm just going to use the D block for that. And I'm just stamping it in the Memento black. See? And because it has these letters, I usually prefer to stamp, at least with the black, this direction. So I will stamp, I'll put the pad to the stamp instead of the stamp to the pad. And that works usually, at least for the black ink, for me a lot better. I didn't get any ink on myself, if you're wondering, as you watched me drop that ink pad. I thought I did for a second. All right, and then you're just going to try to line it up as close as you can. And there may be some overhang. It may not all go onto the circle, but I think we did a pretty good job. So we've got a little bit, maybe just right on the edge of this leaf here, but that's okay. So before we attach these, I'm going to go ahead and just color this, just in case I make a mistake, then I won't lose my piece of DSP as well. So I'm going to use dark real red for the candy cane, and I'm just going to do every other stripe on the candy cane. Pretty simple here. Oh, got a little out of the line. We'll just, yeah, there we go. Pretty easy. This is a very simple thing to color, very simple thing to stamp. I think they look so cute. They look like you spent a long time making them, and really they're super simple and fun to make. So, do the berries. All right, and then let's do the cookie. And I'm going to use soft suede, and I'm pretty sure, yes, this color is retired. So you could use crumb cake. In fact, let's use crumb cake. You could also use the bronze and the dark crumb cake maybe would be a good combination. Let's try that. Let's do bronze and the dark crumb cake. So I'm using the bullet tip because these are small, detailed little items here. You could also color this in with regular markers. Or you can, oh yeah, that's perfect. You could also color this in with regular markers, like the Stampin' Right markers. You could use maybe the watercolor technique if you're inclined to do that. The blender pens with the ink pads, or the blender pens with the watercolor markers would also be cute. All right, and now we're going to use, let's see, this is light crumb cake. So I'm just going to take it just over the edges of these marshmallows here. Just where the lines are. And you don't have to do this part either if you don't want to, but I just thought it was pretty cute. So we'll do that. And then we're going to use Old Olive, and you can use dark or light. I'm going to use dark. This isn't really a big enough piece to do like a lot of blending, but you could if you wanted to. I'm just keeping it simple. For the cup, I will do some blending. But for these little leaves and things like that, I'm not sure that, especially if you're making these in mass quantities, I'm not sure if that will hold up for me to do a whole bunch of these. So we're gonna take it easy on ourselves. And last, we're gonna use Pool Party, light and dark, and we're gonna start with dark. And we're going to do, with the bullet tip, the inside of the cup first off, so we don't forget. And we're going to do the handle. And you could, if you feel comfortable doing this with the brush tip, go for it. I don't trust myself to stay in the lines. There we go. And now we're going to use our brush tip. And if you remember drawing when you were a kid and you would make curtains, they would look, they'd have well, let me just demonstrate. So you would do in and then go out, right? So it kind of looks like a bird even sideways. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to color the corners with the dark. Just like that. And because these are, Pool Party is so light, you don't really have to worry too much about, these red berries down here, the old olive. So we'll do that. And then we're just going to go across the bottom and across the top. So now what we've done basically is we've created this little polygon in the center that is completely white. And we're just going to go over the whole thing with light Pool Party. And what this does is it's going to just bring a little bit of accent and highlight to the center of the cup where the words are. So there we have it. Now I've also seen this cup in like a peach color. So maybe like a very light pumpkin pie. You could also do it in like a yellow. That'd be cute. Maybe a light green, like granny apple green for Christmas. You could also do, you could do real red if you wanted to. I'm trying to think. The sky's the limit on the cup color, right? So if you're, if you know that her favorite color, his favorite color is pink, then make a pink cup. That's a perfect thing to do. So I will say I'm going to use regular Stampin' Seal to adhere my white circle to my red circle here. There we go. And then for the next step, I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus. Oh, you know what? We forgot to finish our little bag. Hold on. Pause that. So let's go back to our bag for a second. Let's finish making our inside portion, and let's finish doing the top, and then we'll adhere this guy here in just a minute. So our little piece on the inside is going to be 4.25 by 4. So 4 1/4 by 4. So we will do, and this is a perfect like scrappy project really. Let's make sure that it is a square, so we should be good. So we'll do 4.25. It's almost exactly the right width here. And then, oops, a little fuzzy. All right, and then we will cut this edge off. Oops, wait, let's do this. Here we go. All right, so there we go. So this should be 4.25 by 4. Now, if you wanted to write a cute little message on there, go for it. This is the time to do it because we're going to be sealing this little bag up here. And we're just going to slide this in. So, of course, there's 2 little openings, right? So there's like the front side right here and the back side right here. I'm going to slide this in the back side. And if you get it just at that right, perfect size there, it's going to slide down perfectly, and it's just going to create a little bit of reinforcement in that. So that's what it will look like when you're done. So our next step is we're going to cut the little piece on the top. Now I have some retired paper here, and that's what I'm going to use because, again, like I said, this is a very scrappy project. You do not have to have tons and tons of paper or anything like that to make this. Very, very simple. So I recommend making it about 2 by 4.5. So let's make sure that my piece here will, okay, perfect. Actually, it's a little small, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, we should be okay. All right, let's try this. If this piece doesn't work, I have another piece right over here. So we'll do 2 inches, but I'm going to cut this edge off first so I know that what I'm measuring is accurate here. So we'll do that. So let's measure and see where 2 inches is. Okay, so this piece to me is a little too small, so I have another piece right here ready to go. So this piece, we're going to make it 4.5 because we do want it to hang over just a little bit. Perfect, and then by 2. There we go. Oops. So 4.5 by 2. And then we're going to score, because it's 2 inches, we're going to score it at 1 inch. So we're just basically scoring it at the halfway mark. Okay, there we go. I thought I pressed too hard there, but I didn't. So now we have our little topper. So we will fold this over, and what I did was I folded mine quite a bit. So I folded it, creased it, folded it, creased it on both sides, folded it, creased it. So I rolled it 3 times. And then real quick, before you seal it, just make sure that everything that you need to have in the bag is in the bag. And we will prop this little guy right there on top of him. And there's 2 ways you can do that. So if you put the staple with the prongs facing out, like this one, it'll be easier for your recipient to open it without demolishing the top of the tag. If you face your staple the other way, it's going to look a lot smoother on the back and more finished, but it's going to be harder for the person who receives this, unless maybe they're a paper crafter, to know that they need to take the ribbon off and then open it up. So it's really up to you. I like the refined look, so I'm going to put the ribbon towards me, or the staple towards me. A couple things that I would say: make sure you get all of the edges of your bag in. Make sure you don't, if you're, so this one seems to be a little bit lower when I folded it. So you can see here that I actually stapled into the cardstock, which is okay, but I did not staple into the cocoa pouch. So if your cocoa pouch is a little bit bigger, or you rolled it up, just make sure that you don't staple into your cocoa pouch, because that might be a hot mess and you wouldn't want to give your recipient I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a hot cocoa bomb because that's actually an item, but you wouldn't want to give them the equivalent of a glitter bomb, but with cocoa. So we're going to fold our little ribbon here. This is retired ribbon too, because again, scrappy retired project here. So we'll just fold it just like that. And this is the ruffled red ribbon. And they loved when they had this ribbon. And we will get out our glue dots and take our glue dot off. Let's see if I can get it without getting my take your pick tool. Yep. And we'll adjust our little bow just a little bit, and we will put it right over that staple, just like that. And then our last step is just to secure our little stamped image here. So I'm just going to use, I am going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus because it is, and I'm going to put a decent amount on it, mostly because it's going to be adhering to this cellophane. And I feel like the regular Stampin' Seal might not be the right option for that. So I'm just going to stick it over. I kind of like it so that they can see everything. So I kind of put it just perfectly so they can see it's hot cocoa mix. They can see that I've provided the marshmallows. And then, of course, they see their little treats over here, too. And that is that. That is how you make this cute little hot cocoa pouch. And you can see that there's a little bit of variance in all of them, but it's just based on whatever scraps you have and what you're going for and what you're going to put inside and all sorts of things. So it's a super fun project. It makes up really quick, and it's, a really cute thing to give to whomever you're going to give it to, whoever you'd like to. It's, again, quick and easy to make for friends, for, church groups, friend groups, whatever you have. And I will say that this stamp set is super fun to work with. So I made a couple of other projects with this stamp set. So we have this card here, and then we have these cards, which also feature these sketched plaid. It's the background stamp, so super fun for that. And then this cute little paper piecing technique, and these are little Christmas tags to attach to your Christmas gifts that you may give people. So these are super, super cute little projects that you can make with this stamp set. And it is, a very versatile set, good for tags, but also good for lots of other things. So if you have any questions about this project or you're interested in Stampin' Up, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. And I hope you have a fantastic holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate. And I hope that if you make these, you'll leave a comment down below and tell me how much fun they were. Thanks so much. Have a good one. Take care.